Zap 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 Lightning. Zap Zap Lightning. Lightning.
So starting up in May 2025, we have the 75399 U-Wing, which will cost $70 and have 594 pieces. The included minifigures will be Cassian Andor, K2SO, Dedramiro, and 2 Stormtroopers. Next up, we have the 75406 Kylo Ren Shuttle midi-scale version, which will cost $70 and have 386 pieces. Next up, we have the 75407 Star Wars logo, which will cost $60 and have 700 pieces. Next is the 75408 Jango Fett's helmet, which will cost $70 and have 616 pieces. Next up is the 75409 UCS Jango Fett Starship, which will cost $300 and have 2,970 pieces. The included minifigures are Jango Fett and Boba Fett. Next up, we have the 75415 Kylo Ren's helmet, which will cost $70 and have 529 pieces. Finally, for May, we have the 75416 Chopper buildable character, which will cost $100 and have 1,039 pieces. Moving on to June now, we have the 75400 Plo Koon Starfighter Microfighter, which will cost $15 and have 89 pieces. This is the first one I'll give my thoughts on right now. A $15 microfighter price hike increase is absolutely insane. This here only costs $13 and they're already moving on to increasing it to $15, which is crazy considering that they just increased the price from $10 just last year. Moving on though, in June still, we have the 75411 Darth Maul mech based off the Clone Wars, which will cost $15 and have 143 pieces. This is pretty decent though. They lowered the price on the Star Wars mechs by $1 to be in line with all the other mechs, as they should have. For some reason, not for some reason, because it's Star Wars, they knew it was more marketable. They had it $1 higher than it should have been, but it's good to see that it'll actually be the $15 it should be now. Finally, for June, we have the 75412 Death Trooper and Night Trooper Battle Pack, which will cost $20 and have 119 pieces. It'll have 2 Death Trooper zombie minifigures and 2 Night Trooper zombie minifigures, which will be absolutely amazing to see with all of the gold lining in the helmets and the armor, and then the zombie faces underneath. Moving on to the summer wave now, we have the 75413 UT-AT, which will cost $150 and have 813 pieces. The included minifigures will be at least 2 Galactic Marines and a couple of droids. There is likely to be more minifigures, however at the moment they're unknown. Next is the 75414 Rebuild the Galaxy $50 349 piece set, which will have the 2 Greebling brothers, Sig Greebling and Dev Greebling, and a Duros minifigure as well. Next up, we have the 75417 ATST 18 Plus set for $200, which is just going to be a very large UCS ATST, which will be cool to see. Next is the 75428 Battle Droid buildable character for $100, which will be cool to see as well. And then after that, the 75430 buildable Ewok for $90, which will be great to be seeing too. And the 75431 327 Star Corps Battle Pack, which will have 1 Dwarf Spider Droid, 3 Super Battle Droids, and 4 Clone Troopers, cost $40 and have 258 pieces. This is $10 higher price than the last Super Battle Pack, which is very disappointing to see since it'll have about the same amount of stuff. However, as I was discussing earlier, this is just LEGO with increasing the prices now a lot more, which is just a big disappointment. Next up, we have the 75432 V-19 Torrent, which will cost $60 and have 567 pieces. It'll have a Clone Pilot minifigure, an Obi-Wan Kenobi minifigure, and a Ventress minifigure, all based off the Clone Wars. Antepenultimately, we have the 75433, possibly a Playscale Jango Fett Starfighter for $70. So I talked about this a little bit earlier. If this ends up being a Playscale Jango Fett Starfighter, that'll be amazing to see. Penultimately, we have the 75434 K2SO buildable character, which will cost $100 and be based off Season 2 of Andor. And if anyone else is looking forward to Season 2 of Andor, make sure to tell me in the comments. It'll be very interesting seeing what happens in Season 2, with Season 1 being one of the best recent pieces of Star Wars media in a visual format that has been made. And finally, the last set we have is the 75435 Separatist MTT, which I talked about a little earlier, which will cost $150 and I have a minifigure selection of Commander Bly, Ayla Sakura, and 10 battle droids.